The emergency accident reporting plan is currently in effect for the city of Wichita. There was some confusion because it was rescinded at about 9 this morning, but it is back in effect. Currently, we have in the city of Wichita at least 25 accidents that are being worked by police officers. The emergency accident reporting plan allows individuals that are involved in non-injury accidents that do not involve alcohol or hit and runs to report these accidents either online at www.wichita.gov and go to the police department's link on the website, or you can go to a Quick Trip and fill out a form there. As well, during the open hours of the substations, you're able to get those reports filled out. Again, substations close at 5 though.
We want to apologize to the commuting public for difficulties that they may have encountered on their morning commute. Road conditions were not very good this morning. We did have crews out during the entire overnight time treating bridges and other exposed elevated surfaces. It's important to understand that the city of Wichita does not treat the interstate highway system where a lot of the difficulties were experienced. As a precaution, we did treat those bridges and elevated surfaces last night. During the night, winds were forecasted to be high, which they were. High winds have a drying effect on the precipitation. The precipitation was slushy during almost all of the night. Typically, if we go from slush to frozen pavement, it occurs in a gradual manner. In this storm event, that freezing occurred across the city within about an hour, around about 6 a.m. Moving forward, we are going to continue treating operations today. The sunny conditions and temperatures above freezing are expected to help roadway conditions in addition to the treatment. We'll continue to do treating operations as needed today, tonight, and into tomorrow until the storm event results are eradicated from the streets. Moving forward, we are going to be a little more aggressive in our use of treating material, the salt and sand combination. When we do that, a couple of things happen. First is obviously costs go up, but the second thing is if we put down material in anticipation of a storm event and that storm event does not materialize, just the salt sand on the street, especially at intersections, can create some degree of road hazard for the commuting public. So we have to balance those risks. Questions?
So Joe, going back, you apologize for bad road conditions. Were you not prepared for it? I guess I'm curious about the apology.
As we watched road conditions overnight, slushy precipitation was on the street. There was enough residual heat in the street, and the wind was creating some degree of drying conditions. Unfortunately, by the time the pavement temperature cooled to the point where icing could occur, it was critical in terms of the timing being right before the morning rush hour.
So it wasn't your fault. It's just the way the weather was.
This was not a very well-behaved storm.
Okay, so you're blaming the storm.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So going forward, we're going to only have typical well-behaved storms.
Okay. And then as far as the cost, well, first of all, why didn't you put down salt and sand before this storm? Just because you're worried about the cost and you didn't know it was going to be this bad?
We did put down salt and sand on all of our bridges and exposed aerial surfaces. We did not treat intersections, and we did not do full-length treatment of the arterial street network because we did not anticipate that the freezing conditions would occur at the time that they did occur. And when I say freezing conditions, that's not air temperature, that's the pavement temperature. We knew the air temperature was going to be below freezing. What happened was there was not enough residual heat in the pavement to keep that slushy condition. So as you came in this morning, if you paid close attention, the bridges were in relatively good condition, even though the rest of the street network was not. Now that is of value because the most likely place for the greatest amount of icing to occur and the worst place to lose control is usually on a bridge. That's why they're our first priority.
And so what are the street conditions right now, would you say?
Street conditions are generally frozen slush, and we currently have a full shift, 64 people, 64 vehicles operating, doing treatment on all of our emergency snow routes, which is basically all of the arterial network, street network of the city, and other important routes such as access to hospitals and schools. That will remain at least all day.
And so you put salt and sand down and you're plowing up?
We're not plowing.
Not plowing, okay.
We'll take a few more questions.
Just about the cost, when you mentioned the cost of putting that salt and sand
Yes.
down, is it pretty expensive every time you have to do it? Do you have a dollar amount?
I do not have a dollar amount. No. We will accumulate a dollar amount from this storm event as we normally do, but we don't have that yet.